I am currently taking you through the process of me writing a book from start, or at least almost start, to finish. I was up to the middle of chapter 4, but then yesterday I decided to rework the plan, redo some things, and I'm kind of starting from the beginning again. The overall ideas may stay the same, but I'm adding a lot more to the story. And part of that is me adding a bunch of storylines that I had not previously planned to put in. So you're going to be able to see me today work from scratch with new characters, building a storyline from the start, and that will help you to see my process in creating new stories, so that if you want to write a story and you haven't really done it much before, then you'll have a framework that you can use. I do want to make the point that writing is the kind of thing where there's no one size fits all. The way I like to think about it is you have a writer's toolbox and you have all these techniques that you can pull out of the toolbox when you need. What I'm going to show you today is just one of my techniques in my writer's toolbox. Let us start. I'm excited today. I call it the CGRO framework. And that stands for character, goal, reason, obstacle. I'll give you some examples so you can see how effective it is to get the basis of a story. So imagine you want to write something, but you have no ideas, zero ideas, which isn't usual. I think most people have an idea of something which normally falls in one of these, either an idea for a character, idea for a goal that the character has, idea for a reason, or which is like the motivation, or the obstacle, which could be the villain, could be something. And sometimes if people have an idea for a scene, it can fall into one of these. For example, George R.R. Martin said the way that he came up with Game of Thrones first was he had the idea of the Stark family discovering the direwolves. And then that led into everything that followed. Well, what is that scene? What does that scene fall under out of all of these? Character. He developed the character or characters from that. And from that, he developed the goals, the reasons, the obstacles. This can also be used at a high level, as in this is the whole plot for the book, or it can be used at a small level where it's the drama of a scene. Let's use Ned Stark. So Ned Stark character, he is a noble lord. What does Ned Stark want? He wants lots of stuff, but I'll pick one. A noble lord wants to protect his family. Okay, so I just realized that my camera stopped recording for the last few minutes. So I lost the footage where I was explaining. The screen was still recording, so I'll put that screen footage now. Well, let me explain through these ones. You have Ned Stark, a noble lord character who wants to protect his family, goal, because he feels it is his duty, reason, but he is called to King's Landing to serve as an advisor to the king and has to split up his family, obstacle. This is one I made up. Character, a poor merchant, goal, wants to be wealthy, reason, because he thinks wealth will give him status in society and his parents always treat him like he was stupid, so he wants to prove to them that he is successful, obstacle, but the king has banned anyone from getting new licenses to open shops, so he is stuck walking the streets selling from a bag. Character, a career-driven woman, goal, wants to grow her business, reason, because she loves the self-growth that running a business gives her, obstacle, but her husband wants her to sell so they can have children. So this is how you can create any story you want. This is how you can get started. Again, it's just one tool in the toolbox. This isn't the only way to create stories, not by any means. But If you have an idea for a story, just anything, it's likely can be made to fit into one of these elements. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go back to my story. So here is what I have written already to like partway through chapter 4. Quite a lot of writing. What's my word count? 12,000 words. I like checking word count. I don't know, I just have this fascination with word count. It doesn't actually matter to me. I don't really think about it in terms of goals or anything like that. At most, I think about it just in the basis like to categorize stories. You know, if it's below like 1,500 words, it's a flash fiction. If it's below like 17,000, short story. If it's below 40,000, novella. Above 40,000, novel. That's only what I have in my mind, but I still have this fascination with just seeing what I've written and being like, yeah, nice. Let's go to the plan. So yesterday I had an idea. It was a simple idea. I was continuing to write and I was like, what if I add more political intrigue to the story? And then I think I explained it yesterday, it's like a landslide of ideas. Everything, loads of stuff just started rushing through my brain and I was like, I have to redo this plan. So I then started adding more to the plan, which you can see here, which was good. But then in the evening, I was thinking, to make this story as best as I can with my new ideas, I can't just add things to the plan already. I have to rewrite the plan from scratch with these new ideas. You can think of it like a Pokemon. Like a Pokemon, right? It's evolving. Like it's gone through many evolutions already. It started off as a dream. Then it developed into a kind of fantasy Suicide Squad story. I added more ideas and it developed into what I have now, which is kind of a rescue story. Because I combined those previous ideas with a short story I wrote called The Immortal Knight and the Prince of Volca, which is on my YouTube. And then as I was writing this, again, I've gone through an evolution and I'm creating a new version. In the previous version, I had two POVs, Arjunin and Galen. I think I may add this, Fatima, who is Arjunin's mother. I think it can work with these three POVs for now. The way I'm thinking about it is each one of these characters has their own story. So technically each one could be maybe a novella by itself. Put together, it's going to create the whole novel. So now that I've written out Fatima's plan, I think she shouldn't be a POV character. This is like a conspiracy story that will be so cool to develop just from these two POVs. I've basically written out a summary plan of the new version of the book. The previous evolution, to continue the Pokemon reference, is still within the story. I've just added things around it, added a lot more depth to the plot, to the characters, etc. I was going to have an extra POV, then I realized I don't want to. I'm still going to focus on the two POVs of Arjunin and Galen. It seems that's the plan at the moment. Tomorrow I have to write a more detailed plan and go from there.